Hey guys, Aaron here, and I have a new custom knife review. It's not a new custom knife to me, but a new review that I wanted to post up and do for you. I'm kind of looking back through some of my older videos that I posted and realizing that I either didn't do proper reviews of some of the knives, or it's at least worth updating my thoughts and impressions about them, having had them for a year or so. So, this review is of my Tom Krein Alpha. Tom Krein is a knife maker out of Gentry, Arkansas, trained under Bob Dozier, who is the king of D2, still makes folders and fixed blades today. He's really well known for the sharpness that he gets his blades, and he made a name for himself doing regrinds of production knives. So he would take Emersons and Hinderers and Striders and really everything, Spydercos, everything you want, and regrind them, thin out the edge, give it a hollow grind, do all of that stuff. And he still is doing that. If you go onto his Facebook group, you can see that he's actually doing regrinds of Great Eastern Cutlery and Northwood knives, slip joints, and selling them. And they're really pretty cool. So if you wanted an opportunity to get something that Tom worked on, that would be an affordable sub $200 way to do it. But with all that said, I feel pretty comfortable saying that Tom has become one of my all-time favorite knife makers. I've owned several of his fixed blades, and I own this folder, and I've handled several others, and I am just impressed by every single one that I get my hands on. But the biggest kind of impressive thing that he does is he makes these alphas. This is the alpha folder. It is one of his smaller folders. He makes a couple others, the Shard and the Giganto and stuff like that. But the Alpha is probably his most widely known and coveted folder. It's roughly a 3-inch blade. They come in both liner lock and frame lock. And just a really classy gentleman's EDC knife all the way around. My particular Alpha has marbled carbon fiber handles with orange peeled titanium bolsters, a bent orange peeled tie clip, orange peeled tie backspacer with blue anode liners and hardware, and then a Stellite 6K high hollow ground blade. I have handled both frame locks and liner locks from Tom, and I'll tell you that the liner locks are really nice. They're super thin. I'm sorry, the frame locks are super thin. The liner locks come out a little bit thicker, but really in terms of usability and pocketability, I don't think that you would run into an issue with either one. I love the liner lock, so I really can't recommend it enough. The blade on mine is made of Stellite 6K, which is actually pretty cool, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. But Stellite 6K, apart from being magical and mysterious, is a cobalt alloy. And essentially, in some of the research that I've done online, what I can find about it is that the cobalt forms a carbide matrix, which is filled in by the rest of the ingredients, chromium, molybdenum, and tungsten. I apologize, I'm a little congested, I have a bit of a head cold. But if you were to Rockwell test Stellite 6K, it comes across as relatively soft, because what you are hardness testing are the filler materials inside of that carbide matrix. But the actual edge is made up of those carbides. It's a little complicated, but probably the best thing I can say is just sort of a personal review of it, is that I have never had to take stones to this knife. All I have done is stropped it on red and green compounds, and you can see it's still a polished edge, razor sharp, very easy to maintain. If you needed to, if you let it get too far and you needed to sharpen it, it would sharpen really easy because the material does grind away quickly. So you would be able to repair and restore an edge without too much effort. Ergonomically, the Alpha is a very simple knife. There are no huge choils and no really aggressive jimping. Tom sort of designed this particular folder as kind of an everyday use, gentleman's folding knife. It's not something that you're going to baton through wood with. This one is something that's really sort of geared towards everyday pocket carry, not hard use. You know, no carving, batoning, prying, stuff like that, but more slicing. And that's, you know, something to really point out about Tom is he grinds his knives so thin that they really are slicers. They're not overbuilt workhorses. They're really sort of finesse slicing knives, and that's really Tom's forte. And he does make some nice bushcraft fixed blades and stuff like that. I just think that this folder isn't really part of that use mindset. At this point in my collection, I have had a number of knives that use the IKBS bearing system. And I've got to tell you, this has IKBS in it, that something that Tom does squares it away more than any other maker that I've had so far. The smoothness of it is unreal. The base on his knives, if you order a knife from Tom, and you order it base, it would come with Teflon washers, which I have also owned one of Tom's knives with Teflon, and it was fine. It was great. It was nice and smooth, easy to deploy, all that stuff. But the IKBS on it is unreal. As soon as you break the lock, the blade drops, and it's my finger that stops it. Otherwise, it would close all the way. The IKBS is really phenomenal that Tom's doing. So, if you haven't guessed already, I'm a huge fan. This is one of my favorite knives that I own. And, whoops, drop my notes. And if you have the opportunity to get an Alpha, I couldn't recommend it more. If custom knives aren't really your thing, some of Tom's designs have been licensed to Boker. So you can hit the link that's down in my description, and it'll take you to Blade HQ's page of some of Tom's designs. And if you pick one up, you'll be helping to support the channel. I would really appreciate it. So, all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is, like I said, one of my all-time favorite knives. You really can't do better than a folder from Tom. So, I hope you're all well. I hope you enjoyed the review. And as always, I'm looking forward to your comments. So, have a good afternoon. Aaron, out of here.